Parmalat Everfresh in its new Easy Pour pack.
Welcome back, kids, to your Feel Good Morning with eXpresso on SABC3. And we're joined now by David. He's the owner of Truth Coffee here in Cape Town. And, of course, also the 2008 South African Barrister Champion, Jose. Morning, guys. You well?
Yeah, excellent. Good
Lovely,
to be here.
good. So over the past few weeks, you guys have been joining us, showing us how to make the perfect cup of coffee. But today you're going to show us how to steam milk properly to get that nice and creamy finish.
In fact, you know, we've been talking about the history of coffee and the whole story of the first wave of coffee going from the Ottoman Empire and into Europe, and the second wave when the espresso machine was invented. Third wave was when we got things right. What happened, an American by the name of David Schomer went over to Italy and he said, why is some coffee great and others just mediocre? And he worked for a company called Fluke Instruments, and he single-handedly said, let's apply science to why this works and why it doesn't. Because previously it was, why do you do it this way? Well, my grandfather did. And it's not, it might be good information, it might be a beautiful story, but it doesn't help us get it better. So he did that. And one of the big tricks is milk. And not many people realize this. One of the big South African problems with milk is we tend to have it too hot. At 80 degrees
I wanted
centigrade.
to ask you about that.
Yeah, at 80 degrees centigrade, what happens? The milk loses all its sweetness. The little protein molecules, and they're all raveled up little threads. And at 80 degrees centigrade, they straighten out. We call it denaturing. That's a technical term. And the milk loses all its sweetness. So Jose is going to show us how today.
I'll get you some milk
so
in there.
He's going to steam for us. Now, steaming, the first stage of steaming, and I want to give you a great training aid for this.
Okay.
The sound of steaming is where it's all at. In fact, you can steam better.
The sound of steaming.
Yeah, the first thing he's going to do is purge any water that was in that tube so we don't overheat it. Start with ice-cold milk. You cannot re-steam milk.
Ice-cold milk.
And the right sound of steaming, close your eyes for a second and listen to this. Sound of tearing newspaper. That's what we want. Okay, that's the sound we're after. And listen to Jose. And that's the level of the steam one being just right. Too deep, and it's going to make this noise.
So you want to have it at the level where it literally sounds like paper tearing.
Exactly. Too high, and it's going to start screaming. And it's divided into two stages, the milk stage. There's milk steaming. The first stage is while it feels cold to the touch. So it's imperative you use a metal jug. And that is that stretching phase. And then the next thing that happens is Jose will lift the jug slightly or drop the steam one a little bit. And he will then start swirling, and then he finishes swirling by hand.
What is the banging for, though?
The banging is to get any big bubbles out. What we're after, in the old days, we talked about milk and foam. Today we talk about micro-textured milk. And then we get that beautiful, beautiful latte art. Yeah, Jose's going to make us a second one, and we can go through that again.
Okay, so this again.
Ice-cold milk.
Ice-cold milk. It just came out the fridge. All right.
He doesn't reuse old milk, but Jose's a real pro. You'll notice that there was almost no milk left in his jug at the end of that. It was exactly perfect.
I poured it, just so you know.
There you go.
That's a little bit again.
Okay, so purge it. A little bit of help from our friends. Purge it. Okay, first stage, milk's cold to the touch. Now you'll notice Jose checks the temperature with his hand. While it feels cold, he can stretch, and you can see his hand cupping it beautifully there. And then when it's no longer cold, he's going to lift it slightly and swirl around, and that's going to happen until the milk starts burning his hand. That's what's so critical, that his hand's in contact. Milk burns at 80 degrees centigrade, so does your hand. Don't burn your hand, you don't burn the milk. How's that for easy? Now look, real pro, he cleans the milk wand immediately. You never want to see milk hanging on the end of that thing. It's so easy to clean now. And there you go. And now all he has to do is pour an espresso we prepared just now.
Let's take a look at how he does this whole coffee art thing again.
Yes, now he's going to knock out any big bubbles that are there. Micro texture, so it's a combined milk and foam. And that's the technique. And it's a very quick thing to do. And this, you can learn this in a matter of a year.
Now, I want to ask you, I want to ask you, now you've done it with a professional coffee machine. What about the coffee machines at home that's got their normal little steamers?
This is the beauty. Exactly the same rules on the home machine, but everything takes longer, which is a benefit. Because it gives you time to learn from your own mistakes. If you get it wrong on one of these, everything goes out of control. The milk puffs up, pops up, and you'll never get your micro-textured milk.
So basically, take your time when you do it at home.
Don't worry about the fact that you've got a lower-powered machine. That's actually a benefit.
Fantastic. All right, so guys, what do we call this coffee this morning?
Incredible.
Incredible. This is an incredible cup of coffee.
That is a flat white or a cappuccino.
Beautiful. If you can take a look there, and if you can see this coffee art, absolutely beautiful. I mean, such a steady hand. But you can only do this with the milk. If you've done it properly, you know, Jose, what would you say?
You are 100% correct.
I am 100% correct. I like it. That is really a good cup of coffee. And I see what you mean. It's not too hot, but it's just perfect.
Should be just ready to drink. And one of the ways, if you are worried about how hot it is, make sure that you heat the cup up. so the cup doesn't take heat away, and then you can enjoy the drink for longer. But if you're going to go above that magic 80 degrees, you're just going to kill things.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning and showing us how to make the perfect cup of coffee. Over to the team.
Brilliant.
Stay with eXpresso and SABC3.